Hello, hello. It is time for CX Talks. This is Robe Hartnett coming to you as the host of CX Talk. I'm, hold on just a second. Had another thing going on over there, so I had to take care of that right quick. In any case, my name is Robe Hartnett. I am the host of CX Talk, coming to you live every Tuesday and Friday at 1 o'clock. And I'm coming to you on behalf of Compassex.org, an online life skill platform that you can go to and get all types of information in regards to information on life, on how to navigate it. I'm happy to be with you today, and I thank you for joining me when I come on every Tuesday and Friday. I want to first say to you guys again, Happy New Year. This is what I feel will be another monumental year, because we're still carrying over from a lot of things of 2020. First of all, I want to thank you for your comments, your antidotes, your questions that you have sent in to me in regards to being thankful for having CX come on and be on a regular basis. It's very important to get that feedback from you, because oftentimes, you may have a vision to do something that you think that will contribute to making a difference in not only your life, but the lives of others. And having that feedback from you is very, very, very important. People have sent me in videos of other things that they have. They have sent me ideas, things that they want to talk about. And today I'm going to talk about diversity in 2021. The reason why I'm going to talk about that is because we faced in 2020 so many things. And diversity is kind of a subject that people walk softly when they venture into that. I won't be doing any soft walk. I'm going to be doing what I call straight talk. Straight talk is the best way to do it. And hopefully it will be something that can contribute to the way that you face 2021 in the diversity spectrum. A lot of things that I'm going to be talking about in that area is going to be from social science. So it's not going to be coming from just a concept that I may have, or something that I've lived through, or something that, or what I call street life, which gives you lots of experiences. It's going to be coming also from lots of research that has been done through social science. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about will be backed up by social science. Those of us who have lived through the diversity spectrum know that we don't need social science to quantify whether it's real to us or not. But I think it is important to always have that academia foundation behind what life experiences, because there's people that dedicate their lives to giving what I call quantifiable information through tons and tons of study. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. I want to just touch on what we talked about last week, because it's always important to go to that. I talked about looking at life in a way that doesn't make you feel like it's a burden. I say that at the adversity of life, the adversities that we face in life it's like being in the university of life. And I had a talk with my friend, and I see he's on, Kenny, and we talked about that a little bit in terms of university. It's the universe that is working with us, that's trying to implant more knowledge within us. Some of us get more than others. Some of us feel like, wow, life is just kicking my you-know-what. And if you face it in a certain way, if you work with a coach, you work with friends that are like positive motivators or light workers or whatever you want to call them, they can help you walk through this, because there's always something that can be learned in the university of life, because that's really what it's about. So in doing that, the importance also that I talked about is being you. Being you. Now, some people say, well, I don't even know who I am, so how can I be me? Well, that's a journey within itself. And so if you just do the necessary things like what I say, meditate, read, research, looking to things that you like, things that you don't like, it will help you find yourself. So that's another part of what I talked about. And so again, my name, for those who may have been joining in with us for the first time, is Robey Hartnett. I am a certified life coach. I am a counselor and also an actor that I partake in. And that gives me lots of life experience, because you got to play a lot of different people. And so the reason why I'm here is because we created a website called Compassex.org. And the Compassex.org, as I said before, is an online life skill platform providing tools to navigate life. And I say tools because the sum total of an individual is a multiple of everything, of many things. And so what we've done on that website is provide you all kinds of tools. Whether you're searching to be an entrepreneur, we have tools on that. Whether you're just trying to find some principles in being successful and finding prosperity in life, we have something on there. If you're looking for trying to build self-esteem, we have things on there. And all of it is not for cost. In fact, what I've purposely done is made a ton of it for free, because I believe that if I'm going to be a advocate for or participant in helping to be part of raising the consciousness of this planet, that things shouldn't be paid for, because especially right now, people don't have the money per se. And so knowledge is free anyway. It comes for those who seek it. So again, that's the purpose that we're here. That's the who, the what, and the why of why we're doing this. And coming on every Tuesday and Friday is a consistent approach to reaching out to the community, to have you be valued, to have you have someone that you can talk to. And even though you may not be actually talking back to me, hopefully I want you to feel like I'm approaching it in such a way that you are in concert with someone who is purposely trying to reach those areas that you might be struggling in. So there's we go. And not only that, when I say you might be struggling, I might be struggling on it too. And so the beauty of it is I get to discuss what I may be struggling with, and talking about the tools that I'm working with to get through it. So it's all good. So as I said, today I'm going to approach a very difficult subject. I'm going to give you right up front the warning that this is a very difficult subject. It does not have to be a very difficult subject, but it's because we have been struggling with this, especially in North America, over the past 400 plus years, that people don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about tools, and I'm going to talk about some things in a, quote, academic, scientific way. This is all, a lot of the information that I'm going to share with you today is life experience as well as social science. social science. I'm going to talk about, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because 2021 should be the year of working toward the enlightenment of diversity. We saw and have seen many dark aspects of diversity. The prejudice, the implicit biases that we may have, the discriminations. So I'm going to walk through those things and maybe help us understand, as well as myself, the principles of these things that diversity means. There has been some studies, and I have them written down. There are some actual studies that were done. There was one done in 2003 by the Bertram and the Mullihantham group, and it was based on looking at how discrimination may work. And what I find interesting about this study is that it was something very simple. It was a simple application, a work application, and they sent it out and they had the companies participate in it. And the concept was for individuals to fill out the application. And in filling out the application, they had certain names that sort of alluded that it could have been a black person or a white person. And they had tons. Everything was the same questions, the same components of filling out the application, the resumes and so forth. But it was basically a research done on the name. And in this study, it found that more people who had a name that lent itself that it was a black person, that they did not get the job. And oftentimes, here's the trickery of it, some of the individuals were white with a name that would sound like a black name, but they didn't get the job. So the higher rate of the person getting the position was the one that had a name that sounded more like a white person. Why am I bringing up these things? I want to talk about these things, and it fits into the category of implicit bias. Implicit bias. It basically means that sometimes we just may have biases based on the environment that we might have grown up in. We may not be consciously wanting to be in a state of prejudicial or a state of denial, of discriminating, but because of environment, it may have created that within us. So in order for us to deal with these things, we have to go back and look at the construct of the things that has brought us there and start chiseling through those to help us get more aware beyond that state of being implicitly biased. There was another study by Lin et al. And it was a tip that got more, it was the concept of finding out why people would look at, when they look at certain groups, whatever the group, it could be a group of women. You know, there's biases on women. There's biases on color. There's biases on age. There's biases on all those things. And so when I say implicit biases, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying that it's how you act upon that implicit bias that can create that that road down a dark way. And so I want you to look up these things. And I also will say to you, if you're interested in just taking a test, in looking at where you may stand in this world of viewing cultural diversities or diversity engagements or anything of that nature, I would invite you to take the IAT test. It's the Implicit Association test. If you go to Project Implicit, if you Google that, it will probably lead you to a website or where you could take this application. It's all free. And it doesn't mean that you're bad, or it doesn't mean that you're good based on the results that you may get from it. What it will do is just allow you to take a realistic view on how you view the world and how you view the diversity that we're now faced with. One thing that we have to really take ownership of and be realistic about is that whether we like it or not, the world is becoming more diverse. In fact, it's always been diverse. Let's get real. It's always been diverse. It's just that as economics change and more people are getting into the workplace and more people are becoming financial sound within different colors or within different races, we are being set upon the scene more so, and these things that we used to sweep under the rug has gotten so high that we can't walk on it anymore. We're just falling on it, and as we fall on it, it creates this sort of tumultuous, mountainous eruption. And so how do we deal with it? This is why I wanted to start off on 2021. How do we deal with it? We must face it. We must take a clear look at the things that we have within ourselves, and we must find means to overcome these. And so I'm going to talk about some of these today. In my the website, I'm going to have a complete detailed course on it that's going to be quite a bit long. It'll be about an hour, so you'd want to approach it over time. But what I'm going to do today is just go over some of the highlights, the bullet points, because again, these sessions that we have on Tuesday and Friday is just to kind of walk lightly over different things and bring awareness to them and help us navigate through. Today I'm going to talk about three things. I'm going to talk about stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. And what's the difference? Because some people think, oh, they all fit into one category. No, they do not. There is a clear difference within all three. Let me start with stereotypes. Stereotypes are beliefs that we have about groups. And that group could be a group about black people. They can all dance. They can all play sports. They can all do this. Or they're all violent. They're all aggressive. They're all hostile. That's one type. Now there are positive. I gave you two types of stereotypes. Positive would be that they all are able to dance, or they all have played good sports. That's a positive stereotype. That doesn't mean it's good or bad. Then there's the negative stereotype, or the adverse stereotypes, which is, again, they're violent, they're hostile, they're aggressive. And then we will tend to blanket the whole group with that based on our environment. Our environment will say, if you believe that, that's the whole populace. Whereas if we go to another group, if we go to Another group, we may say, or Asians, they're all smart. They are quiet. They this, they that. But then we will blanket that over the whole group, and yet there might be someone there that is not smart. There might be someone that is vocal. But in those particular groups, we may not blanket the whole group with that concept. And so it's getting rid of concepts. Yes, there may be variables that weave through certain cultures, but we don't want to blanket the whole culture with that. And in that way, negate the culture so that the minute we see someone, that's what we are envisioning about them. We don't let them create what they are, who they are, because we have this, what I call stereotype that we create. That's one level of it. Let me walk through the other one. The other one is prejudice. Negative feelings about other groups. We will say that they will have a negative the minute we see someone. It's just an immediate negative or immediate feeling that come up. That falls within the group of prejudice. Now, there are some blatant prejudice that just comes out that are what we would call the old prejudice that we've seen around through slavery times, through modern times. And then there are what we would call modern prejudice, which are more subtle, which is sort of applied in a way that is in a certain work environment, and through not allowing a person to reach a certain status if it's their time to come up for a certain level of growth within the company, because we feel that that prejudice will just, I don't want to give them that. That's another level of it. And then there's the third aspect of what I call discrimination. Discrimination is when we treat people differently based solely upon their color. No other reason. So those are three different levels of what I call the implicit biases that could go on. Implicit biases can be positive in one aspect, it could be a negative in the next aspect. So I want you to just take heed to the things that I've talked about today. I won't get into very much today. As we know, we only talk 30 minutes, and I'm into it now, 25 minutes. But the important thing that I'm trying to say about this whole discussion today is that 2021 is upon us. We know just recently, within the last few days, there have been some killings and shootings within America. And I just feel that the can of worms needs to be open, because we as a society, as humanity, can only grow if we allow the whole to grow. That we've never seen in history that if only the top tier have that kingdom or that society lasts. And if we as a people who have been service to take care of the planet, we have to start by taking care of each other first. You know, we talk about right now that there is global warming. Well, the global warming is an absolute fact that science backs it up. But I'd go another level and say that until we can take care of first ourselves, it's very important to do the work within ourselves. because once we start to do the work within ourselves, which is a multiple of things, of meditating, reading, seeking a higher consciousness, finding love within ourselves, getting rid of the computer banks that may have been given to us that have been adverse to us, to the well-being of who we could be and who we may want to be. Some people are so angry, not because it's them, but it's because of all of the bad stuff that has been placed into their computer banks. And they know no better than to approach life in that way. So what I'm saying to you is that if you are one of those individuals, then work toward finding that peace and that serenity within yourself that can allow, first address it, that yes, this is who I am. Let's not make excuses. That's who I am. Then start to pull out those computers, feed those computers with new things. Because I am a firm believer that if you do the work, you will get the results. And is there a scenario where sometimes a person can just be so dark that they cannot find the light within themselves? Yes, there could be. Yes, there could be. But even at that state of being, I think if an individual reckons with the fact that they are in such a dark state, that if they just try and approach it in a way that let me just one step at a time, one centimeter at a time of trying to work through this, that there's hope for them. And so that's why I want to talk about the diversity in 2021, because if we do not address this subject, if we do not face this wall, we are on our way down a track that will have severe consequences, because people are no longer docile. People are no longer to be ran over. People want to be free. They want to be happy. And they want to find that place within themselves and within the world that contributes to the greatness of everything. I truly believe that. So, I'm going to be talking over the next few weeks. I've talked today about the 3 types of what I call implicit biases: stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. I wanted to just cover those, and I just touched on them just briefly, just enough to whet the appetite of you and to get you thinking about those things. And what I will be doing over the next few weeks is just doing the same thing. And over a period of a month or so, I will have the complete course on the site that gets in depth about it. And hopefully it will be a methodology that can help us as a society start talking openly and honestly about diversity engagement, multiculturalism. There are science that shows that when people share the values and the multiculturalism of their group to the total sum of things, it makes the whole community better. It makes the whole society better. It enlightens everyone's skill set on being more broad and more open. And it creates a better content about who you are. So it's a value to engage in what I'm calling Diversity 2021. It is a value for us to engage on this level. And I encourage you, but again, you must first start with yourself. So if you go back and look over some of the Facebook tapes that I've done, or the tapes, showing my age, the Facebook videos that I've done, kind of leading up to this, I talk about that self-exploration. It's very important to start there, and then you're able to address the outside. But we cannot go outside until we've actually got the shovel and start digging up the dirt that has suffocated us from being the greatest beings that we can be. And it's an ongoing daily process. It never stops. And the younger you start, let me say this for some of you that are younger, in your 20s, your teens, the younger you start, the wiser you shall become, and the quicker you find your freedom. Finding your freedom is not just, like as we thought, being able to vote or being able to walk outside in the environment in any area that you want. Freedom is within first. And then it extends great and vastness to the exterior outside, the exterior environment that we live in. So I'm advocating that first. So again, thank you so much for joining in with me. I see a few people here today. I want to just recognize them. My good friend Kenny, Stacy Parker, Leanne, all of you guys who decided to take time out of your day to join in with me. And not just join in with me on the video, but join in with me on the Diversity 2021. Be an advocate and speak your truth about that. And we can change where we are right now. And it takes a conscious effort. And it's beautiful what we saw last year from the adversities that took place where people had to lose their lives to bring awareness to it. And I truly believe that it was a residual of COVID. What I mean by that, if we would have been busy in our days as we have been so many times before, those deaths we might have missed. But because, one, it was on television, two, it was so blatant, three, we were there with nothing else to do but to review it, hear it, know it, that it just created within us that voice that we knew it is not right for any of us to find ourselves happy in an implicit bias situation. We must, as human beings and caretakers of the planet, we must be for the good of all. And if we're for the good of all, then that's where we will start seeing much change and much results. And we'll see a harvest from it. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Robay Hartnett of CX Talk, coming to you every Tuesday and Friday at 1 p.m. You can follow up more with me by going to the website. It is compassex.org. The email is there. You can email me. Keep giving me those comments, good or adverse. I love them all. There's nothing that I don't feel contributes to me wanting to dedicate this day for you. And So I don't care what it is. Send it in to me. I look forward to you partaking with me along this journey. And as I say always, I wish you love, peace, and follow the way. I'm out of here.